Now we've constructed the trousers, we're going to finish off by making the waistband, which is an integral part of the trousers. So what I've done with these ones, I'm using twill tape to go around the inside of my trousers so they can just be pulled tight, no elastic in these. The width of my twill tape is 2 centimetres, so I'm leaving quite a generous gap for that. So what I've done is I've pressed over 4 centimetres over the top, created a 4 centimetre hem, and then turned in 1 centimetre. So I've now got approximately a 3 centimetre gap there, and I've used a little piece of twill tape and I've written the size of the trousers on there. I'm just going to fold that in half and tuck that up in the centre back, and fold that down and hold it in place, and carry on pinning all the way around. When you get to the side seams, just make sure that your pockets are facing towards the front, because it does go over the top of the pockets slightly when you fold that over, and make sure they're facing towards the front. Then when you get round to the centre front, so do that all the way round and pin that in place. But before you sew that, you're going to need to make some holes so that you've got somewhere for the ties to come out the front of the garment. So what I've done is, that's what it looks like when it's finished. On the inside, when you open that up, I've got a layer of interfacing, which I've used iron-on interfacing, just a piece there, and then I've used another piece of fabric on top. Sometimes when you just use the interfacing underneath like that, your machine doesn't like to go over the top of that. So if you put another piece of fabric there, you will then be doing your buttonholes from this side. So that's what it'll look like when you sew your buttonholes. Now I've got what's called a one-step buttonhole foot that I used, and instead of putting a button in the back, I opened the back of this up to 1.5 centimetres, and that created my buttonholes there. If you've got a 4-step buttonhole, you might have to measure the size that you need. So create your 2 buttonholes like that in the front piece. When you fold that back on the inside again, you can then hide all those edges inside so you don't see any of the interfacing or anything. And then sew a line of stitching around the edge here. I've got one finished here, just Blue Peter style-y, like so. So you've got a very, very neat edge there. All your stitches are in, all your raw edges are enclosed. Then take your twill tape, which is what I'm using, it's nice and soft. Thread that through the first hole all the way round, out the end. Pull that so that it's equal distance all the way round, and then come back here and just do a line of stitching on the sewing machine. I haven't done mine yet. Just down here, that'll ensure that that cord doesn't pull out, and then that can be pulled to whatever size the doctors or nurses need it to be. And then just come here at the end, turn it again, and do a little line of stitching along there just to hold that in place so it doesn't all fray when you put it in the wash. And there we go.